Hi, I'm here. I'm just getting my things together, getting my photos together so I don't have to search. But actually, I think we're good. I think I can see it well enough without having to feel like I'm searching around for it. Hi, JW. Hi, Mass Cat. Mass Cat, you just moved to Paris? That's wild. From where? Oh my gosh. We're going to wait for more people to come into the room. I'm gonna do some social mediaing, tell the folks that I'm live, tell them to come on over. So just talks amongst yourselves. Ooh, okay. Well, still, it's a big move. You moved countries. Country to country is a big deal. I mean, state to state is a big deal. So, country to country, woof. Beastmaster, hello. How are you, Monique? Hello. Dedria, hello. Renee, just the third. You have to get to Mexico. Renee, come back and rewatch it. Rewatch it, girl. All right, text amongst yourselves. I'll be back. Let's put this picture up. Get you a drink. You know what I'm saying? Prepare, settle in. Clink, clink, clink. Settle in, as Julie would say. Clink, clink. Okay. Putting myself on mute. Megan, Megan, thank you so much for that. Whatever that was, that PayPal or whatever. Oh my gosh. Thank you. I had to go live and then I was looking on YouTube. It was the whole thing. So sorry if you got that feedback. But Megan, thank you. Wow. Okay, going back on mute. All right, you guys. It's 7 minutes in. We're gonna get started at 8 minutes. And hello. All right, all the good folks are in the room. We can get started talking, and people will come back in. Oh, don't worry, don't worry. You will get it. You will. You will get them. Mascat, you're not the only person. It just dropped yesterday, so most people probably haven't. I got tequila too, and wine. I'm probably gonna switch to a little tequila. All right, guys, let's get started. Hey guys, it's Wahima, but just call me Wah. Melanated! Welcome to my recap of Love is Blind Season 4, Episodes 1 through 5. They just dropped them all yesterday, so if you haven't watched it, don't feel any way about it. I just have to get my thoughts out because I watched it yesterday and all this morning. It was just like a marathon. And of course, they leave you on a good cliffhanger, but we're going to take our time. This is going to be a slow burn recap. So for those of you guys who are hashtag replay gang, thank you guys so much. You should put me on while you're driving or you are cooking or cleaning, something like that, where you can like be busy at the same time. If you check the description box, hopefully you saw that we got started at 8:12. You didn't just have to like move through the nothingness. Hello, my name is Wah. I do recaps of relationship reality TV shows such as Love is Blind, 90 Day Fiance, Married at First Sight. No. Love After Lockup. So if you are at all interested in that content, please join me. Also, oh my God, Seeking Brother Husband came out. I gotta watch that. Oh, I'm so excited for Seeking Brother Husband. Then we're going to come back and talk about Seeking Brother Husband. It's just a day of lives. It's a day of lives. If you guys are at all interested in giving me a tip, you can do so. Just got a super nice tip from someone by the name of Megan. Thank you so much. I appreciate it a lot. It was a Chase Pay. So thank you so much. So generous. So generous. You are generous. Okay. And that is it. Let's jump right in to our okay. So for those of you guys who don't know what Love is Blind is, Love is Blind is a Netflix reality series that started about 2 years ago. You remember Cameron and Lauren? Remember Barnett and Amber? You remember, I mean, really, who else was in season 1? Oh, Damien and that crazy girl. And then season 2, who remembers anyone from season 2? But then season 3 was that like Asian girl and that guy, white guy with the teeth. His name was Shane, I think, and I think her name was Natalie or Nicole or something like that. Yeah, and remember what's her face who like was with that crazy man, Colleen. Yeah. Anyways, oh yeah, and Bartlett, Bartle. That's what it'd be, and he like played that one Latina, and that one Latina's brother was like not having it. Anyways, here we are, new season, and we're happy to be here. We're grateful. Okay, so we are back in the pods, guys. Okay, Nicholas Shea and his wife are doing like a whatever kind of job of being the host of this show. Do we need a host? We don't. And women and men are in 2 separate living spaces. So the women and the men get really close with each other because they don't. Oh, season one of Love is Blind had that black man who like played with Diamond. I remember he went on a whole campaign trying to like revitalize his career because he was shitty to her. Anyways, all the men and women get to know each other, which is the hardest part of the show. I always said that if I ever was cute enough to get on this show and they took people of my age, wouldn't you love a Love is Blind of like 35 and older? 35 to 45? 35 to 50. 35 to 50. That would be so good. Anyways, so I'm saying it right now. They should do a Love is Blind and they should do seasoned people with children, people who've already been married, people with none of the above, right? Anyways, so if I were to be on the show, I would not tell anybody in that house who I'm attracted to. I would not tell them. In fact, I would just hear all the hot goss and I would go back to the pods and talk to the guys that like 2 of the guys that I really liked. And I would tell them everything that was going on. And then if I found out that somebody that I was really liking somebody else really liked them in the house, I'd be like, hey, so Tamika says that y'all have a bond. And it would get real awkward. And I'd be like, so tell me about Tamika. Do you really think you have a bond with her? Because the truth is I don't want to be with anybody unless I'm their number one all the way. So I don't want to know. Anyways, so we have our core group. Of course, there's like 30 people, right? There's 15 men and there's 15 women. But the truth is we only ever hear about 5 to 7 of the men, 5 to 7 of the women. And I wonder if those are just the only ones that match. I wonder if there are other people that match and they just don't show them. They're like, oh, you guys are not fun enough. Or they only allow the first 6 to do it. Like, did not JP match with anybody? Did not I don't know, Kendra match with anybody? Juan, apparently there was a man there named Juan. Did he match? Did he not have one conversation? There's a business owner named Quincy. Did he not match with anybody? Did he not match with anyone else? There was a cute, I mean, it's just like so many cute people that you're just like, how come we don't see anybody else's? Anyways, oh yeah, Diamond and Carl. I seen that comment. I seen it. Diamond and Carl for real. Okay, so let me introduce you to the people that we meet. These are the players. We've got Chelsea. Okay. She's, I don't know how old she is. I didn't get a picture of her like this one. But anyways, she's a cute patoots. She's a skinny mini. She's going to wear a bright color. She's going to have her nails done. She's going to have her jewelry done. And she's going to be like simple makeup. Okay. Then we've got Amber. Amber is a flight attendant who's 34 years old. And she's feeling kind of awkward because she's on this show. And this girl has been married twice. And she's like, isn't it? She made some comment in one of her confessionals. She's like, people are always so like, you know, in awe because I've been married twice. It's like, yeah, I've been married twice. And I'm like, bitch, there are people out here who have never been married and not even close. So the fact that you have had 2 men at least pretend to like you and want to introduce you to their friends and family, like you have a leg up on the competition. So why are you here? I was annoyed. As a super single, I was annoyed that Amber was even there. Anybody who can get to the altar, even if the person doesn't like you, anyone who can get to the altar, I'm like, shut your face. You have no idea what this feels like. Next, we've had Irina, who's 26 years old and she's a business owner. It's like, girl, what business do you own? Do you sell eyelashes? What does she sell? The next person we have is Bliss. She's 33 years old. She's a whatever a senior project manager is, girl. Who knows? But I'll tell you more about her. She's from Alaska. Then we've got Micah. Micah is 27 years old, and she says her worst habit is overthinking and romanticizing. We'll get back to her. Then we've got Tiffany. Tiffany is 37, and she was feeling really awkward because she's the oldest, I think, at least of the women. And she says it's hard meeting people in public. Then we've got Jacquelina, who's 27, and she says she's here to find my daddy and leave, start our lives. Like, good for her. When she said, I'm here to find my daddy, I was like confused about the person that she picked because I don't know that the person that she picked would be considered a daddy unless his like daytime life is different than his nighttime life, if you picking up what I'm putting down. Next, we've got Marshall, 27. And then we've got Josh, 31. Then we've got Brett, 36. Then we've got Jack, 31. Then we've got Paul, 29. Okay. Oh, also, Kwame. I don't know how old he is. 32, I think. That's just off the dome from memory. So we start out and we meet our couples. They give us a lot of time with Micah. We see the first couple of people that Micah likes. We've got Micah having a conversation with Paul, and we have Micah having a conversation with Kwame. And so it becomes apparent from the beginning that those are the 2 people that are going to kind of be her love interests. And, you know, it is what it is, I think. So Micah and Paul are having a conversation. That's Paul. Paul is an environmental scientist. So he talks about how he loves to travel, and he asks every girl that he has a conversation with, like, hey, you know, where do you want to travel to? And, you know, the consensus is Italy. Everybody wants to go to Italy. Paul is Paul III. His grandfather is a Paul and his father is a Paul. And he's a scientist. And so he didn't think that this experiment would actually work, and he was actually quite surprised how it does work. He felt that Micah had a sultry voice. And we are all wondering what the word sultry means to Paul. I wish that I could play. Maybe I can play Micah's voice. Maybe there's something on Instagram that'll like play her voice real quick, and then you guys could tell me whether what the definition of sultry is for you, because it's not that for me. Is there one that plays her? No, let's just go to Google. Micah from Love is Blind season 2. No, 4. My bad. Is there videos? No, there's no videos. This is a lie. Anyways, guys, I'll try to find it, but she's not at all what I would describe of any voice being sultry. It's just like, what a crazy lie. You know what I'm saying? Like when someone just like makes something up and just wants to say things out of their mouth, and they say the thing that is like the least true of anything you've ever heard in your life, and you're like, oh, what's wrong with you? So at that point, I knew Paul was not to be trusted, and his judgment was completely off kilter. So then then we've got Amber. So Paul ends up having another kind of connection with a woman named Amber. And remember, Amber's the one who's been twice, who's a flight attendant, and she's just looking for love. She just wants to find a person that sees her. And he tells her he likes her name because he loves the stone Amber. And then he like flubs up and asks her again what her name is. And she's like, I just told you my name was Amber. So, and he's like, oh yeah, haha. So he got nervous with her. Again, she wants to go to Italy and he is interested in it. Okay. So then we've got Jacquelina, and Jacquelina feels like a kid in a candy store. She's like, I've decided who my 2 boyfriends are. And my 2 boyfriends are JP, which I don't have a picture of because, I mean, obviously I don't have a picture of him, Marshall, and Josh. I mean, the obvious reason why I don't have a picture of JP is because, like, who is that person? And when did we see him past the first episode? We did not. So again, her boyfriends are Marshall and Josh. Okay. Then we've got Bliss. We get introduced to Bliss. Oh, no, it's not Bliss. Bliss grew up in Alaska. She has a conversation with Zach. So Bliss and Zach are like a thing. And Bliss ends up telling him that she's like a fisherwoman or whatever that means. I don't know. Maybe I don't know what that means. So then Zach likes to tell people that he's a stripper, right? He wants to see what their reaction is. And they're like, what? And then the only person that is like, shut up, is Bliss. Bliss is like, I don't believe you, like whatever. But Zach also has a little bit of a connection with Irina. Irina ends up telling him that she's from Russia. Is she a refugee? I don't know. She's from Russia. They grew up super, super duper poor, and she had very bad acne. And so now she's just like, it doesn't matter what someone is on the outside. It only matters what they are on the inside. And she like is like come up from nothing and is like, I don't know, whatever she is, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. And then we meet Brett. And Brett tells us a really cool story about how he is now a shoe designer. And there was like some situation, like, I don't know, there were several situations with Brett. Okay. Brett tells a lot of sob stories. One, I know that his father never told him that he loved him. Like there was no exchange of saying, I love you between him and his father. 2, his older brother passed away. And he was so optimistic that like when the sister-in-law called him and was like, hey, I can't find your brother, he's like, oh no, he's fine. And then he was like, got a call saying like, just go home because the brother is gone, man. And then he also had a situation where one day when he was little, like his parents couldn't pay the electricity bill and they didn't have lights for like weeks and they just lived off the candles. So he had a lot of traumatizing things happen to him in his life, which has led him to be an artist. He liked to draw. So he started designing shoes, and he does now works for Nike, girl. So like, I didn't go to college, and he talks about how he's like the director of like, I don't know, something at Nike. And I'm like, a Cole Haan coworker of mine, ex coworker, did some digging and was like, "Girl, he used to work for Cole Haan, and then he went to Nike." And I said, "Girl, did he design the?" Thinking about it, what did he design? Did he design some of them Nike Air shoes? What shoes did he design? Do I own any? So, anyways, that's Brett. Brett has had a lot of things going on. Hi, Ramsterdam. Oh, welcome to the party. Welcome to the party. So now I don't have any more notes. Now we're just gonna go off the cuff. So everyone, okay, I'm not gonna look at the comments because you guys are gonna like derail me. Not gonna be derailed. So, anyways, as they're going through the pods, it is very clear that again, Paul has a relay with Amber and Micah. It's also clear that Micah has a relay with Paul and Kwame. Now, Kwame tells us this really annoying ass story where he was going to first come into the pod with the name Alex because he didn't want to be judged by his name Kwame. Now, why would you be judged by the name Kwame? Because it's obviously an identifiably African, West, or either Kenyan. African. I'm not sure what language Kwame means, born on Saturday, but it means something in a sub-Saharan African language. You feel me? And so who's going to judge that, Kwame? A black girl? Who's going to judge the name Kwame? Because the person that's going to judge the name Kwame is the person that's going to judge the name Wahima, the person that's going to judge the name Wasani, and that person can kick fucking rocks. And I'm not going to change my name, especially when it has nothing to do with a job or a livelihood, so that while in a pod, someone wouldn't judge me for the name Kwame, especially with the way that Kwame sounds. Kwame sounds very American. I could see if he was like, "Oh, I don't want to come in here with a Nigerian accent or a Ghanaian accent because I don't want anyone to know I'm a foreigner," or like whatever. So who are you trying to impress with the name Alex? You trying to impress Micah with the name Alex? You trying to impress Chelsea with the name Alex? So then he then tells us a story about how he has been judged for most of his life, and he, has had moments in his life where like he couldn't even pick up his high school girlfriend for the prom because he was black. So then I said to myself, then maybe you shouldn't date people who are going to be worried about the fact that you're black. Especially now that you live in Seattle, especially now that you don't live in whatever suburb your parents have raised you in, and you can control those around you who may judge you and not want you to pick them up at their parents' house because their parents are like, "Can you please get that nigger off my yard, off my lawn?" So great. Now listen, I try not to judge people for their surroundings and the trauma that it is of being a black person in America. But at 32, I'm going to need you to make better choices. So we've got Kwame. Kwame is in a thing with Micah and Chelsea. Remember that Paul is in a thing with Micah and Amber. Great. Now we've got Brett, who's in a thing with Tiffany. It is just Brett and Tiffany. It is just Brett and Tiffany, y'all. And we find out in episode 4 that this is her real hair. Or it's some kind of like wavy weave that can go from being wet, like fully doused in water, to straightened and then curly and like whatever it is fantastic on her head. Okay, it's beautiful. It's curly. Sometimes she has it straightened. Wonderful. Okay, now we've got Zach. Now Zach is in a thing with Irina and Bliss. Bliss being the fisherwoman from Alaska, and Irina being the Russian girl with acne who grew up poor. Zach grew up poor. His mother was a stripper, and she has now gone on to our Heavenly Father. And so everything he does is trying to make a good representation of like who he is. And, he picked himself up by his bootstraps and became a criminal defense attorney. He says that once his mother died, he just went into autopilot and he just was like, I'm going to be a lawyer. I'm going to do this. And this is how I'm going to make myself valid. And now he says that he doesn't care about making money. He told us a story about how his mother went through the drive-thru and she didn't have enough money for the meal. So I don't understand why you say you're not interested in making money. What do you mean you're not making money? Huh? You're not interested in making money? He just wants love and he wants to find a wife and he wants to go off into the sunset. Okay. He has a great connection with Bliss. Bliss is sweet. She's ready to be a wife. She makes him cupcakes on his birthday. She asked the producer or someone, girl, can I have my phone so that I can look up a recipe for cupcakes? Or she made the cupcakes from scratch out for her brain because she was like, 2 cups of flour. So she's making cupcakes for this fool, right? Because it's his birthday. And she gets producers to give him the cupcakes or whatever, whoever the helpers are. Now, Irina is also talking to Zach. Irina has forgotten Zach's birthday. She forgot. She's going to ask Bliss, can I have one of your candles? And Bliss is like me. She's like, listen, I know you were dating Zach, but I don't want to hear about it. And I also don't want you to ask me for something to give the man that we're both dating. Because you could have done that. And I don't know if it's because Irina's young. And she's younger, right? She's, what is that, like a 7-year age gap? I don't know. Bliss is fully ready. She's fully ready. So she's thinking about Zach, right? And her and Zach have a really good connection, in my opinion. Irina and Zach have a decent connection too, but it's because, in my opinion, he's got a cape on and he wants to save that hoe. He feels like they have similar upbringings. They both grew up poor, so that his background is not going to upset her parents, if they were to get together, and that she's real cool and down to earth, and he feels super safe with Irina. But you, the woman who baked you cupcakes for your birthday, you don't feel safe with? Irina fully told him, hey, I didn't get you anything for your birthday. Actually, I completely forgot it was your birthday. Ha ha ha. And he's like, it's okay. It's okay. And she's like, yeah. And then the next girl comes in and brings him full on cupcakes. And he, yeah, annoying. All right, now we have Jacquelina. Jacquelina a little crazy, okay? Something wrong with her. And she's talking to both Marshall and Josh, right? And Josh tells her, hey, if you don't choose me, I'm packing up and leaving right now because you're the only one for me. And that makes her feel some kind of way because she really does like Marshall, because Marshall makes her feel at home. And so she tells Marshall this. And so Marshall's pissed because Marshall is not aware of anybody else crushing on Jacqueline. So he now feels that this player has been listening to him talk about Jacqueline, talk about how much they're getting along, talk about how much he loves her. And so now that whoever the person is, because she doesn't say it's Josh that has sown the seeds of deceit or deception. So he's like, I have been in our room just talking about this girl, and whoever else is dating her has said nothing to me, and now has gone back to her to basically give her an ultimatum so that she doesn't know what to do now, instead of just waiting for the proposal week and proposing. so that she would have to choose. So he's pissed. He goes back and he's like, he's talking to Brett. He's talking with Kwame. He's like, someone here is a snake. Someone here done told my girl that if she doesn't choose him right now, that he's gonna leave. And Josh overhears this, and Josh is like, "Are you talking about me?" And he blew his own cover because Marshall is like, well, if are you in love with Jacquelina?" And Josh is like, and Marshall's like, well, because she just told me that someone in here told her that he was about to pack his bag. So is that you, bro? And Josh is like, yeah, I do have a thing with Jacquelina. And Marshall's like, so you've been playing the snake the whole time. If I knew that you were my competition, then I would have known what to do. But so just man up then. If that's the case, then take your shit and leave. I don't know what happens, but Josh ends up backing down. And Marshall and Jacquelina, they get engaged. They see each other. They like each other. It's a good time. Okay. Now, in the women's side, we've got a mean girl duo. The mean girl duo is Irina and Micah. Okay. Irina and Micah are very much mean girls. Very much mean girls. They're always talking about Amber and Bliss and Chelsea. Okay. The reason why is because Paul likes Micah and Amber. So obviously that is Micah's what's the word called? Opponent, adversary, right? The girls are always trying to be so cool and so calm and collected, and they want to be best friends with each other, which is like so stupid. That's why I'm saying I can't know. I don't want to know. Anyways, so Amber and Micah are liking the same guy, Paul. Kwame likes Micah and Chelsea. Irina likes Zach and Paul, but she doesn't even talk about Paul that much. So keep that in the back of your mind. All right. So Irina and Micah are just awful. They are shit talkers. They are constantly stirring up some stuff. Even so, I don't know what happened. I don't know what it is. Anyways, so something happens where Paul and Kwame and a bunch of the dudes are duding and hanging out, right? These guys are hanging out, and it becomes very evident to Paul that Kwame is really much in love with Micah. And Paul doesn't want to lose Micah. I don't know what happens. I don't know if he feels not jealousy, but he feels, what's the word? I can't get my words today. Not jealousy, but he feels like Kwame is better looking than him, or feels like Kwame has better qualities that Micah would really like. So Paul goes in and speaks to Micah and is like, "Hey girl, so Kwame really likes you. What do you think about him?" And I think Micah goes, "I can't bring a black man home. So I mean, I really like Kwame. We have something, but the truth is I'd rather be with you." And so Paul and Micah make a pact to just be with each other. So now Micah has to tell Kwame to kick rocks, but she knows that she has a really good relationship with Kwame. So Paul then has to now break it down to Amber, but Paul knows that he has a really good vibe with Amber. So I don't know what it is that makes Paul feel like Micah is the end all and be all. The truth is she's real basic. I don't get it. I don't understand what happened. And I also think that Micah doesn't want to not have someone propose to her. So her and Paul decide that they're going to ditch the other people that they're dating, and they're only going to date each other. When the other people that they're dating, they have super strong connections with. So Paul breaks Amber's little heart. Okay. Amber comes back to the communal space and is crying. And Chelsea is soothing her and trying to be everything's going to be okay. And Amber's like, I just don't understand. I am blindsided. He and I got along really well. I don't get what's going on. And she brings up nothing about Micah, but Micah and Irina are sitting in another space in the same room, and they are kikiing and talking about how Amber's so dumb because she's crying. And so Micah then tells Irina to go and listen to the conversation that Amber and Chelsea are having so that she can like overhear to figure out why Amber's crying. And so then Irina's like, oh my God, okay, I'm gonna go on this mission. So she goes to the mission. She like walks over to where they are and like hides behind like a wall and is listening and like giggling and shit. And of course, she's probably been drinking, so she's probably giggling very loudly. And Amber and Chelsea realize that like they're being overheard. And then Irina's like, abort mission. And she like runs back to Micah to tell them what's going on. So that's who Irina and Micah are. Okay. So now let's move on to Bliss. Bliss knows that Irina is talking to Zach. And she doesn't like the fact that Irina has asked her for the candle. She thinks it's weird. And she's like, listen, girl, like, I'm not here for the shits. So I know you're dating Zach, but you asking me for a candle is really weird. And I really don't want to talk to you about him or this whole situation. So if you can back up, that'd be awesome. And Irina automatically goes into like victim mode. And she's like, ew, why is she like that? Like, I don't understand. Like, just because I asked her for a thing, like, it's not a big deal. Like, who cares? Like, so then Zach gets put in the middle because I'm not sure who brought it up first, but whoever brought it up first was the person that like caused the chasm in my mind. I think that it was Bliss. I think that Bliss went into the pod and told Zach that she wasn't feeling Irina, that she didn't like her and that she didn't want to like have conversation about it. And I think that automatically made Zach feel defensive of Irina. And he said, I really like Irina. Like, I think that, we have a lot in common. We have a bond. And Bliss says the thing that I think was a valid thing to say, but I think it caused her to not get proposed to. She says, if you choose Irina, I would judge you. Like, I would know what kind of person you are. And I don't know if Zach thought that was manipulative or he didn't believe it because he feels like he has a bond with Irina. But the truth is that Bliss has more of an understanding of what Irina's true character is, or at least the character that she's going to present to other women, which is still a valuable character trait to understand and to know of. And so she's like, listen, she's a snake and she's like a shit talker. And if you would choose to be with somebody like that, then I would judge you for that. And so then he kind of gets upset and taken aback. So then he goes back and talks to Irina and he tells Irina, he's like, I know Bliss doesn't like you and like, whatever. And he calls Irina vicious or something. And Irina's like, I'm really taken aback that you would call me vicious because that's like not who I am right now. Like, la, 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 la. And he's just like, I'm just saying that it feels like if somebody were to wrong someone you love, that you would go after them. And I think that he, for whatever reason, thought that that was some kind of admirable trait. And listen, I think it's an admirable trait as well. I have a friend that I know that if some shit went down, she would help me commit a crime. And that person, I will always have that person's back for that. But I only have one friend like that. Everybody else, they could talk a big game, but they're not going to fucking help me do shit. Okay? So I get it that you want somebody that's down for you bad and down for you hard. But I'm like, the person who bakes cupcakes for you is the one who's down for you hard. That's just all I got to say. That's the person who's down for you. Not the person who forgot your fucking birthday. So, anyways, Zach ends up breaking up with Bliss. And Bliss is pissed because she knows Irina is a POS. She knows Irina is trash. Okay? So now the two mean girls who someone in a latter episode called Frickin' Frack. So now Irina and Micah both have a man due to shenanigans. Okay? Micah tells Kwame that she doesn't want him and that, she's feeling feelings for somebody else. And he responds with, all right, good. Thank you for your time. You can email my receptionist if you have any further questions. Like, he literally goes into work mode and he ends the conversation as though a client has just turned him down for a big thing, like graciously, right? But he's pissed. He goes back and he cries. I mean, the boo fucking who's. Now, I love to see a Black man show emotion on television, right? I just think it opens the door for so many things. And Brett is witnessing the boo-hooing, okay? But we're all like, she ain't even that cute, bro. I mean, I'm not even cute as in like physical, just like the whole personality, right? The whole thing, not even that cute. Okay. But then Kwame still has Chelsea, right? Now, Chelsea and Kwame's first conversation was so sweet because Kwame tells Chelsea that he was a professional soccer player. I guess he went overseas and played and he got injured and now he can't play soccer anymore. And do you know what Chelsea says to him? Chelsea says to him, you know what? That is very sad to hear. And I bet you people don't give you enough credit understanding like what a heartbreak that is. And he's like, you know what? Thank you so much for saying that, because the truth is that I'm like mourning that life, that what I thought I was going to do forever. And I had to pivot. And now I'm successful and I'm happy. But it's like, I was going to be this soccer player. And like, I really felt like Chelsea was a grown ass woman about it. Like, Chelsea gives me just like grown woman vibes. And you know, I love a grown put together woman. I love a woman whose hair is done. I love a woman whose outfit is matching. I love a woman who's monochrome. I mean, Chelsea, every single earring, every single jewelry. I was here for it. She told that man that she brought 21 pairs of shoes for this show. And he says, ha ha ha, I love that. And I said, bitch, I love that. 21 pairs of shoes? Yes. Yes. Okay. What? I love a Chelsea, and yet he wants her. And the question is, girl, why? Because she sounds like girl, I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, so Kwame then goes for his second choice, which was Chelsea. Now, Chelsea knows that she's second choice because she hears Irina and Micah talking about how basically Irina and Micah comes back after breaking Kwame's heart and she's like, oh my God, he wanted to marry me. Like, already, we haven't even gotten there yet. And Irina's like, yeah, why would he want to do that? Like, ew, you have no right to do something like that. Like, why would he want to do that? And I'm like, hate them. Because he likes you. That's why. But you're an awful snake. So, did I miss anything? There's 60 comments that I haven't looked at. Oh, what do you guys say? What do you guys say? Definitely frickin' frack. Bliss wasn't wrong though. You're absolutely right. Yeah, Bliss was the one who started it. Yeah, unfortunately, you cannot tell men thing because they think they know and they don't know. They don't understand women politics. They truly don't. So they think that like the one who initially told you, and the truth is like, I'm not even going to say that that's the reason why. They don't know women's politics, but it caused something. And sometimes it works in the woman's favor and sometimes it doesn't. This is why I can never chase a man. I can never. Because the truth is that I am the better choice. And if you don't choose me, I feel like something is wrong with you. So that's why I feel like something is wrong with every man, because they don't choose me. Paul should have absolutely chosen Amber. Absolutely chosen Amber. But he got scared. He got scared and he chose Micah. And I don't know if because Micah was telling everybody that she likes people's energy and, you know, I just don't know. I don't know. Oh, girl, I do not know. I definitely don't know. Oh, hi, Mar. You guys, the way this turned out is so unfortunate. This makes me now think that season 1 and season 2, I think were pretty pure. I think season 3, we had more calculations. Remember Andrew, the Asian man, putting the fake tears. So I feel like now people are coming into this show having a formula of how they want to get on the show. right? The guy who came in and said that he likes to wear leopard. I think he said that so that he can get a little bit of a soundbite on the show. So I think the show now needs to evolve where you don't just choose that person and go. I think that you should have like a runner up. I think that honestly, if we're going to make it so that the men are the one who choose, I think that the men need to be able to have a second choice, especially if they're debating between two women. Because you can say anything in those pods to get somebody to like you. You can be whoever you need to be to get somebody to propose to you. So I think they got to change the format up. It's crazy because they filmed season 2. Oh, really? 2 as well? Well, you're right. They did come out rather quick. And you're right because season 4 just ended. I mean, season 3 just ended and season 4 was ready to go. Girl, I do not know. Hi, Busola. The show is officially the Bachelor, where people gamify the show to get more camera time. I agree. But you can also fake it in real life, which some of these folks definitely do at the pods. Yeah, I agree. So yeah, unfortunately, this is going to be a really, really rough weekend for Irina and Micah. This is like social media is blowing them up. This is a rough week for them. So I kind of feel for them because I don't think people realize like how they have come back. I mean, this is the first time we've ever had a super villain. Like season 1, there was that one blonde girl who got with that one guy with the weird face. Yeah, but like, okay, so let's move on. I'm gonna go away from the comments because you guys are distracting me. Okay. So now we've got a situation where Tiffany and Brett are together. So listen, I'm going to tell you that. Okay. Tiffany, let's just talk about the couples. Tiffany and Brett are together. Okay. Then we've got Micah and Paul. And we've got Zach and Irina. And Amber and Bliss have gotten their heart broken. And Kwame has gotten his heart broken, but he had someone in the wings, which is Chelsea. We've also got Jacquelina and Marshall together because she ended up choosing him because, Marshall made her feel more secure. So at this time, everybody who sees each other when they meet is like happy. I mean, Kwame could not be more happy for his beautiful blonde Barbie. Just couldn't be more happy. Just like very happy. I'm going to tell you, Chelsea looked good. She was wearing like a wrap bandeau dress from like 2011, but it's fine. It's fine. So all pink. It was cute. It was very Barbie. All right. Then we've got, I already told you Zach and Irina. I think those are the couples. That's it. The 6, right? So we've got these two. We've got these two. We've got these two. We've got these two. There's one other couple that I'm missing, but I don't have a picture of them together. Okay. So now we go to Mexico. They're in beautiful Mexico and they get like 24 hours together. Maybe it's 48. I'm not sure, but they get some time together. They don't know who has picked who. They don't know who they're going to see as a cast. So, but they're just like invested in each other. And we've got some cute scenes between Chelsea and Kwame where Chelsea like puts it out and she's like, listen, are you going to be like fawning over somebody else? Like, what's the deal? And he's like, no, I've chosen the right person. I've chosen the person who chose me. And like, I'm happy with my choices and everything's going to be good. Everything is all good. And then, oh, I forgot to say this, girl, when these two saw each other, Irina was not interested in Zach. She told him immediately that he looked like a cartoon character and that he never blinked and that she just needed to get used to everything. Zach is not that bad looking at all. Like if I had like walked out and saw him, I would be okay with that. Now I'm gonna need him to get some facial hair. Not to say that he looks bad, but I mean he might look hot with facial hair. Paul is giving us a scruffy do, and I just need Paul to get a good shape up and to cut his hair and to make like his beard like full. I need a full beard from this one. But like The craziest thing is that later on, she says that she likes the way Paul looks better than Zach. And honestly, they look a lot alike to me. I mean, I'm not saying they look exactly alike, but if somebody were to tell me that these two were brothers, I'd be like, okay. I mean, dark hair, light eyes, you know? It was weird. Irina was like rude about it. So he could feel it, but he like, I don't know. I think I sometimes feel sorry for men because they are kind of taught that if a woman doesn't want you immediately, that you should kind of just kind of push or like give her time. And I don't think that you should do that. I think that if someone tells you that they're not interested in you, fuck them. Um, I mean, I'm a victim of that. I've done that. I've loved people who didn't love me and thought they would like not no fuck them because the way she reacted to him, no. I mean, again, Irina's young. Maybe she hasn't seen that many faces. I've seen enough men's faces that like I'm yeah, you know me. You would have to have a lot going on for me to like think someone's ugly. Anyways, so they're in Mexico. The couples are getting along really well. Tiffany and Brett are doing well together. And they are like really in love. It's kind of annoying to watch. Then there's like this scene where she like rides him and he like grabs onto her butt. And I'm like, okay, did we need this? Do we need it? Do we need Netflix? Plex Netflix, do we need it? I don't think we needed it. And then we've got Kwame and Chelsea who kind of talking through everything that they're both feeling. Chelsea's got some cute outfits. She has this Calvin Klein like underwear that they talked about in the pods that he was into, and I thought it was really cute. Like I was here for it. I'm just here for all of her clothing, and I would like to see everything that she has in that suitcase personally. Then we've got Paul and Micah, and Micah is not that attracted to Paul. She's just like trying to get to know him. She's like, he's not the kind of guy that I would go with normally. I wouldn't choose him normally. And so this is all new for me, but I'm interested in getting to know him. They do not have sex the first night. Marshall and Jacquelina, they're happy with each other. She's interested in doing the do immediately, and I think that they do, which is fine. They're grown. I'm here for it. I'm here for all adults checking it out. She absolutely doesn't want to sleep next to him at all, girl. Like she puts like a little doll that he gave her in between them the entire time. She quite literally told Micah when they meet later on that Zach gives her the ick. So now we've got the two the two mean girls there. And when they meet each other, they immediately start to kiki. You know, they're over here talking shit, talking about how they don't like who they're with. And Micah immediately starts to talk with Kwame. And then she makes some like off the cuff comment. She's like, they're doing shots. You know, everybody's doing shots. And she's like, cheers, like, let's do shots. Shots to a failed proposal. He. And Kwame gets very upset. Okay, he gets very upset. He's having a conversation with his boy, and he's just like, that was uncalled for. He doesn't even take the shot. He like is pissed because he really, really loved her, and she basically left him for him. Okay, she had a choice between this person, and she chose this person. And he's salty about it because he's like, listen, look at these. Look at this. So he sits down. He's like, look at these guns. Okay. Look at my 2 gold chains. Look at my fade. Look at my earrings. Look at my bone structure. How come you don't love this? So they have this conversation where she has to apologize for him, and then she then starts spinning some like nonsense ass tale about how she didn't mean it and she never would like want to hurt anybody's feelings because she's like not that kind of like person. And like I was just kidding, and I'm sorry if I made you upset, but like I don't want you to think bad of me. Like I really like you. I have so much love for you. And he's just like, man, I loved you so much, bro. Like, how could you do this to me? Like, we got along. It was like blindsided, and I didn't get any like closure on it. And so Chelsea is in the corner cut, like, she's pissed, right? She's talking to Jacqueline and Tiffany, and she's like, girls, would you stand for this? And Jacqueline is like, hell no, I would go over there and bust him in his Ross, right? And she's like, okay, I'm gonna go stop it. And listen, I need for Jacqueline and Tiffany to decide who they're going to be fucking friends with, okay? Or at the very least, need to see scenes where Tiffany is just like hearing all the tea, but then she goes back to Brett and she tells Brett all of the chisme. Because Tiffany is like in all of the conversations and she never has anything to say. She just is like, that's wrong. And I'm like, girl, tell us what you think. You don't have to tell us, you don't have to tell the girls, but go tell Brett so they can get it on camera. I wish that Tiffany would come back every night and be like, okay, boo, let me tell you what happened right now, okay? So you saw how Micah was all up in Kwame's face, right? And then I was sitting over there with Chelsea, and Chelsea was upset because she was like, why are they talking so much? Like, this is so disrespectful. That's my fiance. Like, what's he doing? Why is he talking to her? And I said, And then Jacqueline was like, girl, go get him, okay? Punch him in his face. How dare he disrespect you like that? And I just sat back and didn't say nothing. And then later on, when Jacqueline and Tiffany are talking to Micah, maybe the next day, they're like, or maybe later on. They're like, girl, Chelsea was so mad that you were talking to her man. She was like, blue. And then Jacqueline has the audacity to say, obviously Micah doesn't like Kwame because if she wanted him, she would have him. I said, messy. And you're not even doing it the right way. Messy. Messy. God, Jackie, yeah, no, I Do gold chains, girl. I love it. I love the gold chains. I love it. That's all I want. Give me that neck. Okay, anyways. So yes, Jacqueline has easily swayed in her decision since the pod. Don't expect more from her. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it. I think it's understandable for people's feelings to still be raw, but Kwame confessing his feelings to Micah was so tacky. Woo! Unfortunately, Kwame's coming out the villain too. Mainly because it's real pick me. It is real pick me. Okay. So then Chelsea and Kwame have a long conversation and they don't end up going to that night's festivity where Jackie was two-faced, right? They don't end up going to that. At least not that I saw them. And Irina gets there with Zach and she's just like not feeling him. And Zach and Paul are always chitty chatting because, right, they look exactly alike. And I mean, they're from the same community. They're from the same culture. I mean, not exactly, right? But like the three Black men are consistently and constantly standing around each other having good conversation. And the other two are talking. It's very factioned right now. I never see, maybe I saw Zach talking to Brett, but like Brett and Marshall and Kwame chitty chat the whole time. And they even talk about how, them being vulnerable and talking about crying and being upset about love and all this stuff is just, and I thought it was a great little touch too, because we never get to see Black men like supporting each other and being vulnerable like that together. So sorry. Whew. So yeah, a lot of these two kikiing, which I love it. Okay. Where am I at? They are in Mexico. They meet each other. They talk about how, who looks like what. Irina tells her a freaking frack, talk to each other and says, hey, I don't like my guy. And Micah doesn't exactly say that she doesn't like Paul, but we're starting to get the feeling that she doesn't like Paul. They all then go on excursions. And listen, every single time there's a conversation between Marshall and Jacqueline is fully eating. And listen, that's my spirit animal. Like when people are talking to me, I can eat too. But I'm like, girl, you're filming a show. Put that fork down. She was hungry. She's like, I'm eating shrimps. I'm eating dessert. I'm eating whatever. So they have their little date and they go out to a bar and they talk about the future. And she gets upset because she, I guess, takes care of her family at home. There's a lot of pressure. So she starts to cry and he like soothes her through that. Then we've got a date between Paul and Micah and they go into some kind of cave and they're swimming with the catfish and she's upset about that. And he's like pointing out all of the like environmental scientist stuff. And I thought that's really sweet. I would like to be with somebody who can be like, hey, that's plan is Samarkandis marshnitis. Like, I think I would like that, you know, but maybe I wouldn't. Maybe I'd be annoyed like Micah. Who knows? Then you've got a little dinner between Zach and Irina, where she again tells him he looks like a cartoon character and that he stares at her too much. And he's just like doing his best, pushing through, trying to like her, get her to like him or give her patience or whatever, because you know she doesn't want to touch him, sit next to him or anything. And then we've got Tiffany and Brett. What do? They just like make out in the pool. I don't remember what their excursion is. Not important. Okay. Then we've got the next day, and Chelsea has got on all red. I mean, red earrings, red dress, red shoes, pink nails, but she can't change the nail color. It's no problem. And they're all outside talking, and Kwame has admitted to everyone that his behavior the day before was despicable and that he was rude to his fiance and he's not going to fuck with Micah anymore. And then he even says to his like little crew, he's like, listen, you know, the truth is that Micah pulled me aside and like spun a tale and tried to like back out of the things that she said and done. The truth is that she led me wrong and she doesn't want me. And I don't want somebody who doesn't want me. I don't want somebody who's going to play games and then try to back out of it and seem like this nice person. She's not a nice person. And they're like, yeah, man, you know, you got something good with Chelsea. So then Micah pulls Chelsea aside and is about to like be like, oh my God, your dress is so cute. Like, you know, the thing that women do to each other. Your dress is so cute. Mar, remember the thing we used to do to whatever her name was? This is a stupid story, but okay. So we worked for Cole Haan. And there was this like hostile takeover by some like little biddies from Ann Taylor Loft. Like Nike sold Cole Haan, and whoever owns Ann Taylor Loft, like bought Cole Haan. And then all of a sudden we just had this like influx of the teeniest, tiniest like women from Ann Taylor Loft who thought they knew how to sell shoes in Manhattan. And they just like came in and like, in order for us to not get in trouble and not get fired, we devised a plan, some of the women, to compliment these ladies every single time we saw them. I think the girl's name was Jamie. Was it Jamie Marr? Every time Jamie would come in, we'd be like, oh my God, Jamie, you're so cute. Oh my God, I love your shoes. I love the way you styled that. Now, sometimes it was really cute. And I don't know if Mar is still friends with Jamie. I would hate to blow the cover if we're still friends with her. But like, we would literally be like, did you compliment Jamie today? And check in so that we could stay on her good side. So I know that it is a tactic that women do to get the other woman to feel comfortable. We for sure were like, oh my God, Jamie, oh my God, I love the way you styled that. That was so cute. I would compliment her I mean, and it would be so obvious to us what we were doing, but to her, she's like, thank you. I'm feeling like I didn't like it. I'm like, oh my God, your eyeshadow is so great. And then we talked to her for like 10 minutes about makeup. Yeah, they were cute. It's not like they weren't cute. We weren't lying, but it was like we had to. That was the only way we felt like, oh my God, we have to like do this or else she's gonna like hate us and not and like fire us. But anyways, so yeah, when that happened, that's exactly what it reminded me of. Do I remember that? Maybe vaguely. But I just knew we just like had to tell her she was beautiful. We just had to be like, you're so cute. Oh my God, I love the way you styled those boots. Oh my God, I love the way you styled that. Cause you know, we sold shoes. So like we had to love the way she fucking styled it, girl. Anyway, so so that's what happens. Chelsea's like, oh my God, your shirt is so cute. And she's like, really? It's just like a bralette that I found and I put this with the skirt. And she's like, oh my God, and it fit? And he's like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. So she's like, I just want you to know that there's no hard feelings and that like I don't like Kwame and I wasn't trying to be disrespectful yesterday. And then like God comes in and is like, shut this shit down. Okay, the rain comes, the wind blows, and they all have to go into the house. And Kwame and Micah have a good conversation. And no, Kwame and Chelsea have a good conversation, and I'm rooting for them at this point. Like I want them to both be happy. Kwame still is giving me vibes, but like it is what it is. So then we've got Irina and Zach, and Zach is sitting next to her, and she says, they're on the bed, opposite ends, and she's like, "When we go home, can we like not sit next to each other because on the plane? Because I think that we're gonna need some time separately to like, kind of figure out what we want to do." And he's just like, "Yeah, I mean, let's just call it quits now." Because the truth is that it's been awful being with you. And they're giggling through it. But like he's like, "Yeah, it's been terrible. You've not wanted to touch me, and you sit so far away from me." She literally has nitpicked on everything. Like, "Oh my god, I hope you don't snore." He like sings songs around her. She gets upset because she doesn't want him to sing. It's annoying. Like she fully has the ick. And I feel bad because I really wish that he would have called it quits when they first saw each other. And then she says that. He's like, I kind of wanted to call it quits since we got here. And she's like, I wanted to call it quits since I saw you. I wanted to call it quits since I saw you. I mean, and I think that this is exactly what was happening, Dress Your Age. I absolutely think that he was like, I picked the wrong fucking one. Bliss said, if you choose her, I'm going to judge that. And he's like, I picked the wrong one. We all know I picked the wrong one. And so then Irina's like, well, would you go with Bliss? Like, would you like talk to her in like when we get back to the real world? And like, he didn't say, I don't know if he said yes or not, but whatever. But then Irina drops the bomb that she has a better connection and was more attracted to Paul. And it's kind of fucked up because that's her best friend's fiance. So now Irina would like Paul because she's more attracted to Paul, which is like the goop of the season. Because who knew she would be attracted to that? I mean, I don't know. I didn't know she'd be attracted to Paul. So then Zach is like had to sit with this information, and I'm like, what are you gonna do with this information, Zach? Are you gonna be messy and tell Micah? I would. And guess what? Your best friend, not only is she a shit face, she's also rude, and she wants your man. God, messy. So we leave off where Zach and Bliss are sitting down at a table at a restaurant, and I truly want her to give him another chance. I know that's not what I would tell somebody else. A freaking fracture. Great, DG, great. I mean, I want her to give him a chance. I'm trying to think what I give if somebody told me that they made a mistake and that I was who they wanted and they made that mistake, I would give them hell for maybe a month or two. But then I would give in because that's still them choosing me. Now I know they chose me late, but like I want them to always know that I was right and they were wrong. So I feel like at that point they would listen to everything I said from going forward because I'd be like, remember that time you got with that dumb bitch and you should have got with me first? So I think you should listen to me in this scenario. Maybe if he begs. It's hilarious. That's how I feel too. That's how I feel. That's how I feel, DJ. That's how I feel. Bliss needs to run away from Zach. Aww. Why? Same. I want Bliss to put him through some tests, but give him a chance. That's what I'm saying. Does Irina like Paul or does she just want what she can't have? I mean, like, there are so many other guys. Why would she choose him? Why would she choose him? Do they not meet any other guys? Maybe they're not allowed to exchange telephone numbers. Like if it were me, I'd be like, hey, if this doesn't work out, like if there's some other random guy I kind of like, let's go out, let's hang out. I mean, just because I don't want you to be my boyfriend doesn't mean I want you to be somebody else. Doesn't mean you can't come over and we can't be friends and like get to know each other. You know what I'm saying? Bliss deserves better, but like, why? He's a defense lawyer. He's always gonna have money. I know he doesn't care about it, but like, I'm sure he has a nice home. Like, people worry about the wrong things. Okay, we need to worry about stability, right? I don't think they can connect. Oh, that sucks. I feel you though. If I liked him enough, I'd reconsider him and his poor choices. Yeah, I would too. And hold it over him the entire time. Anytime he does something stupid or anytime he doesn't want to listen to me. Remember that one time that I told you if you bit with this bitch that you would be making a poor choice? All right, you guys. So that's where we leave off. We don't see anybody else in the real world yet. We do get a montage of what the next 4 episodes are going to be about, or next 5 episodes, and we'll see them next week. So I'll see you on Saturday and we'll talk about it. We'll push through, we'll get it done. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope that you had a good time. And I should be going live to talk about Love After Lockup once I finish watching it today. So to tune in for that. And if it doesn't happen today, it'll happen tomorrow. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you to Megan for that amazing tip. If you guys want to give me a tip, you can do so down below. You know. But otherwise, did anybody else? Before I get out of here. No, great. Thank you so much, and I will talk to you later. All right, remember to be you, be true, and find your place. Bye. Jumping the line, rock your body on time. Okay, I believe.